Hey, welcome to Cap and Fever. I'm Jake Barrier. Today, we're going golf today, and we've got from McCallum Memorial, Coach Celso Gonzalez, and from the PGA Tour, Papito Gonzalez. Welcome, guys. Papito, formerly of McCallum Memorial of Houston, and now playing on the PGA Tour in Asia. How are you guys doing?
Good, doing good. Thanks for having me.
We're doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, you guys got to play a round of golf today. How was it?
It was good. It was good. I think I beat Celso today. I don't know what he shot. He was kind of bad. He kept talking in my backswing. He wouldn't let me concentrate, but we still had fun.
Well, let's just say this, Jake, that next time I play Papito, he's gonna give me 10 strokes because he shot lights out today, a smooth 5 under, and that's what he's been doing. He's been really working hard on his game, and it's fun to watch him. I mean, I'm so very proud of Papito. He stuck to his guns. He stuck to his goal, and it's great to see.
Now, talking about, when he was younger, when you had him in high school, especially middle school coming up, what was that like for you? Because did you have to coach him, or was it more like guide him?
Well, I've known Papito for a long time because he graduated with one of my sons, and so I've been watching him grow since I would think maybe first grade, second grade, and I knew when was that, Paps?
On time, probably around that time. Yeah, second grade, third grade. Yeah,
something like that, right, Mijo? And so I knew that he was one heck of a basketball player too, but I would see him on STPGA, the summer golf, and I was just beaming. This young man is going to be a Mustang one of these days, and it was fun to watch him play since elementary. He started way back in a long time.
Papito, when did you know that you were good? Was it in high school? Was it middle school? When did you know that you had the chops to make it Division I?
I think when I was around 10, I won a big tournament in Florida, and then I ended up moving to Texas around that time. And growing up, I played a bunch of different sports. Like Celso said, I played basketball growing up. I played football in middle school, and I think in high school is kind of when I really started hitting it hard with golf. But I was different than a lot of the other golfers because I played very high level basketball, and to be honest, that was my favorite sport in high school. But I always made sure to kind of get my golf in every day. Even during basketball season, I had to mix it in there at some point, either in the morning or after practice or something like that. And I would always see Celso in the halls in high school, and he would always kind of get after me, say, "Hurry up and finish that basketball. We need you back. We need you back." And it was kind of tough to find a balance, but I think once my sophomore year in high school is when I won a big tournament in Alabama, AJGA, and that's when I kind of started getting recruited from Division I colleges, and then from there I just kept trying to get better and better, and ended up at University of Houston, and just really enjoyed all that whole process.
Now, Celso was a basketball official. Celso, did you ever want to tee him up, eject him out of a game just so you can make sure that he was fine for golf or anything like that?
You know what? I don't know. I might have given him a technical. I know that I might have for sure a warning, but it just Buggy, come on, Pap, help me out. No, but yeah, go ahead.
Where I would tell Celso, "Come on, man, give me the call. I'm on your team. Give me the call. Come on, ref." And I'll be riding him. I probably overdid it at times, but he was a good sport about it. He was one of the best refs for sure.
Hey. And I didn't give him any money to say that.
So when you guys, so you guys are in high school, you're going all over the place, and you're playing at Memorial. So it's not like you're playing, with a bunch of chumps. You're playing on a good team. What was that like, the competition level, especially traveling? You're traveling in the summer, but then coming back and playing around here. what was it like for you? Like, how did you crank it up when you had to a district and things of that sort?
It was good. When I was very lucky because when I was in high school, we had a lot of good golfers in the area. A lot of Division I guys. Roman Robledo, he went to Hardin South, and he was my roommate at University of Houston. He was a really good player. Garrison Lackey, another one of my best friends. He went to UTSA, Division I scholarship. Carlos Peña from Sherryland. He went to George Washington. So we kept having guys after guys after guys, come into the Valley and play golf and go on to another Division I school. So, and I was usually one of the younger guys, and I was always playing with the older kids. That really kind of got me better. Just hanging out with them, learning from them, and once I got to college, they were a little bit older than me, and it was kind of just like we're in high school again when I would see them at tournaments, and I was just very blessed, very blessed. Even now, I think about those times now. It's like, man, we had a really good group of guys to kind of help me develop my game.
Now, Celso, when he was playing in high school, you were coaching him. What was the one shot that you remember that he hit that was like your wow factor?
Okay, that's an excellent question because he was. We were right in front of Jordan Spieth at the state tournament his sophomore year, and we were on number 18. Everybody was waiting for Jordan to, because we were playing right in front of him, and Papito was probably a wedge away, inside 100, and he stuck it about maybe 1 or 2 feet from the pin. And you remember that, Paps? And then everybody's like, hey, who's this guy? Who's this guy? But you know what? The University of Houston. Still here. Okay, here we go. The University of Houston was looking at him from a distance his freshman year because he was there his freshman year too. So that's the shot that I knew that he was going to go somewhere and play at the next level because he strived for that. As a basketball player, the more people in the gym, oh my goodness, Paps would just, woo, it was fun to watch. But on the golf course, and he mentioned some Roman Robledo, Carlos Peña, they called him Big Bird, good for good people, real good people. But that got him motivated. And when we had regionals down here, his freshman and sophomore year, and he had playoffs against Roman, and it was it was fun to watch him compete.
Now, what did you have to work on when you were in high school? Like, a lot of people are really good at the, long drives or their short game's really good. What did you have to work on in high school to get ready for Division I golf?
Everything, man. Just because when you take that next step, everyone's good at everything again. So I didn't really focus on one particular thing. I look back at it now. I don't think I was very good at many things. I definitely have gotten a lot better, but that's how I try to, I just try to get better every year. So every year I kind of would pick one thing about my game and I would just kind of focus on that. And every year was different. Like when I got to college my first year, I knew I needed to hit it better. So I kept working on my swing. I started hitting it better. My sophomore year, I knew I needed to work on my bunker game. I started working on my bunker game. My junior year, I knew I needed to work on my putting. So every year I kind of picked something, but I didn't really learn that until I got to college, just because when I was in college, my first year at Houston, we were ranked number 8 in the country. So I redshirted that year, and I was able to kind of sit back and watch those older guys and see how they practice and see how they go about their business. And I just try to, take in as much knowledge as possible. And that's basically, I give a credit to all my teammates and my coaches and my high school teammates and friends. They all kind of taught me their way, and I try to just make it my own. So, and that's what I did with basketball and what I do with golf. And I just try to take away what people do well, and I try to make it my own, and I learn from their mistakes and what they do good, and just kind of go from there.
Now, when you were in college, a lot of kids get to college and then they get lost in the shuffle, or they just become one of the guys. How did you separate yourself and make yourself what you are now?
To be honest, man, I get asked this question kind of. Even my coaches asked me because when I first got to Houston, we had 13 guys, and I was number 13. I was nowhere near. I wasn't very good at all, and all I did, man, was just work. I just work, and it's no special potion you can really take. It's all just hard work, and it's kind of just, it's literally impossible not to get better if you just keep working hard. It's impossible. It's literally, you just got to keep working. And I remember my first 2 years, I played a little bit my second year after my redshirt year. And then my sophomore year, that was the year where we kind of lost some guys. So I felt like I needed to step up. And that first semester, I was kind of on the brinks of it, but I never really quite got in there. And then, to be honest, I haven't even told my UH coaches about this. I was going to transfer. I was thinking about transferring because I wasn't playing. And I remember telling my dad, I texted my dad, I was like, man, I think I want to transfer. And my dad told me, finish out the year and then we'll see what's what. So I remember that Christmas break, I told my dad, you know what? I don't care if I don't play. I'm just going to get better this off season and we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to get better every day. And that was probably the best off season, one of the best off seasons I had in my college career. I came back at school and we had qualifying and I'm doing well in qualifying. I qualified for the team. And then our first tournament, I ended up winning that tournament. And then the next tournament was our home event, a big tournament. We had a bunch of top 25 teams there. A couple guys are on tour that I play with now. On the last group of the last day, Matt Neesmith, he's on the PGA Tour now, and Taylor Moore, he's on the Corn Ferry Tour now. And we all played together. And I was in the lead after the first day and ended up getting third in that tournament. It was probably one of my favorite tournaments because that was the first tournament where I got in the travel group. I got in the first 5, and from there I just kind of took off, and that was my whole dream, was to play college Division I golf, and we got to go to so many places. But I just look back at that time, and it was crazy to think, like, man, I'm so glad I just stuck it out. And I see sometimes it happens to some Valley guys. I see some guys transfer, and just because it's tough, man. You're down here and you're always the man, and then once you go up to that next level, it's tough to kind of swallow that, swallow your pride and just kind of take a seat and work hard. And that's what I had to do. But I credit my teammates were there. I couldn't leave them. Those are some of my best friends to this day. And they were really there for me, and they helped me get through those tough times. And that sophomore year was my favorite year. We actually ended up making it to the national championship that year. And that was probably my greatest college experience, is playing a national championship. I don't think a lot of people can say that. And I'm grateful that I was able to experience that.
So when you hear this, what do you think? Like, because you've known him forever.
Well, I think when Paps, and not to take basketball away from him because he's one heck of a player, but once he concentrated on just golf, I knew that good things were going to happen, because when you just concentrate 100% on, in Pap's case, maybe 200%, he's going to, and now it's not work at it. What we call it now is grind. You're going to grind and grind and grind, and then you're going to get, you're grinding a knife. You're sharpening it, getting fine, sharp, tuned. It's going to pay off in the long run. And and I've known Paps for a long time, and his dad. You have to have the support from the family.
Yeah.
And that was unconditional.
Mm-hmm.
Unconditional. So
people didn't understand. I only played golf half the year. A lot of people didn't understand that. I only played golf half the year in high school, and now I'm a full-time golfer. I think you're right. That really had something to do with it. Once I got to college, I was able to focus all my time on just golf and school, and that's where I kind of really started taking off.
Because Paps, the only reason that's true is because they were just a little bit ahead of you, because they were doing that already. But look, you excelled in 2 sports. They didn't. Mm-hmm. You can never look back and say, wow, if I wish I would have played basketball. No, you're never going to have that doubt, Mijo.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're playing now in Asia. What is that like? Because, it's one thing playing Division I. Now you're playing against Asia's finest, and you're playing against some of the world's best. What's that like?
It's fun. I've gone to some cool places. I've gone to places where I didn't even think of going. I didn't really, I don't want to sound ignorant, but I didn't realize they were other, places were out there. I've traveled, in college, I traveled all over the U.S. I got to actually play a tournament in Cabo, Mexico, and then I played a tournament in Canada, and that was cool. But to go across the sea, take that long 13-hour flight, it's very different. But after being over there and living over there, and then coming back to the U.S., I just feel very grateful because I've seen a lot of things and how they live, and they're very humble people. And coming back here, I just I'm grateful for what I have. Sometimes if I have a bad day at the golf course over there, getting a ride back from the taxi cab, and sometimes we're passing the villages, and it's like, man, it's not that bad. I'm playing golf for a living, so it's definitely an experience. But also, it's been an experience traveling with other guys, and it's almost an adrenaline rush every day, because every day is an adventure. I got to figure out how I got to get to the golf course, where I'm gonna eat. Who's going to caddy for me this day? Do I have enough cash? Do I got to, it's all things that I don't really think about, that I take for granted when I'm over here, because I have a car, I have my credit card, it's so different, it's just a different lifestyle over there, and trying to manage my money the right way. It's very different. It's very, very different from college golf. Pro golf and college golf is complete. It's still golf, but you got to worry about so many different things that could be tough at times, but still fun.
I think Celso needs to retire so he can be your full-time caddy.
Oh, that's what I'm telling. I was trying to get his son Seth. His son Seth was actually going to caddy for me in Thailand. We were talking about it, but then all this stuff got kind of canceled, and it just kind of didn't work out. But I know one of these days I'm going to get his son over there. We've already been talking about it. He wants to come caddy for me one day.
And one of these days I'm going to retire.
When I was in Indonesia, I had lunch with Celso's high school best friend who lives over there. And
I know, isn't it?
It was kind of crazy how that worked.
So what's the one country that you've really become fond of over there?
Probably Thailand. I think they have the best golf-wise. They have probably the best courses, cheap cost of living, the food's good, people are nice, the language barrier isn't too bad, so that's probably my main spot. Thailand and also Bali, Indonesia. Those two are my favorite for sure.
And is there somebody that you've played against over there that people would be familiar with here?
Kiradek Api Barnrat. He's I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's a big Asian dude. I think he's top 50 in the world. He plays in the Masters. He played in a couple tournaments. There's some European guys. I don't know if they would know over here, but he's the biggest star that I've played against.
Oh, that's awesome. Celso, when was the last time you saw him play around, besides today? Anything competitive as far as like college, pro?
Wow. I can't even recall. I mean, really, I probably didn't see him in college level because they travel. I mean, their closest place is probably U of H. What do you think, Paps?
Our closest but a lot of our tournaments were in Florida. We had some in California, Georgia. We were all Cabo. I mean, we're all over. So it was tough for my parents came to some, but it was even tough for them to make it. My dad came to a lot of them. My mom did when she could, but we're on the road for all the time. I think golfers travel the most in college.
I think
sports.
y'all might have come to the Border Olympics in Laredo, right?
Yeah, we came there a few times.
Yeah, and about that time, Jake, it's I'm in my season too, so it was very tough. It was very tough to. But I would always be in contact with his dad. I would always get all the updates.
Yeah, he always kept up. He would always send me texts and good luck texts. So he was always a big supporter.
We never lost contact, Jake. We never lost contact. A lot of seniors, they just, I think that's what golf is all about. Like Pat was saying, his friends, his peers, his roommates, his teammates, they all mold. We're a family, and that's what's good about golf, because with this pandemic, I have a senior right now that he's going to play at the next level. We don't know what, everything is on hold, but his father put it eloquently. He said, my kids had a choice to play any sport in high school, and they chose golf because they can play that until they're 80.
Forever,
You
yeah.
know, so and that's what golf is all about. It might not be a football sport, gets a lot of recognition, but I guarantee you still see people out there shooting their age at 77, 78, 80 years old plus. And hopefully the good Lord gives us all this life that we can earn on this earth. And I'm going to play golf until I can't.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right. Now, what is the what's the end goal? Where do you want to be in the next couple of years, Papito? Like, where do you want to be back stateside, or is it a good career over there playing in Asia?
The Big Asian Tour is definitely a good career. The reason why I chose to go over there first, it's a lot cheaper. I can kind of sustain myself and keep my head above water a lot easier because in professional golf, you're paying for everything yourself. A lot of people don't know it takes a lot of money. So over here, to sign up for Q School, just to sign your name is $5,000, $5,000 just to sign your name. And there's 3 stages, so you got to get to each stage. You got to pay for the hotel, the cat, everything. So at the end of the day, at the end of the Q School, it's about $10,000. Over there, it's only about $2,000, and you only have 2 stages. So it's a big difference. And the Big Asian Tour, you play for about the same amount of money. But the only thing is you're on the other side of the world. But for me, honestly, I just want to be able to play somewhere where I can make a living. It doesn't really matter. I just want to play the game that I love and be able to grow the game and just keep doing what I'm doing. I don't, as of right now, I don't know what's going to happen with the season just because of the pandemic, but hopefully my plan is to go and play PGA Tour China and the Asian Tour, and then make my way back here to the Corn Ferry Tour because they have certain incentives that you can come back over here and play some events. So that's obviously the goal. I want to come back over here, but whatever happens. I'm in it for the long haul. I just want to keep on playing the game that I love.
And I got to ask, you guys have to find your own sponsorships, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's that been like for you over there? Because, you're American, but an Asian American playing over there.
Yeah. Oh, it's tough. It's tough. Callaway is they give me clubs and gloves and balls and stuff like that. I played Tyler's golf ball. So they helped me out, but sponsorships for money-wise, I had 2 golf fundraisers that went very well. Celso helped a lot, and we ended up. I had it at Tierra Santa, and last year I forgot what month I had. I think I had it in February, November, and I actually had 41 teams. I was able to raise the amount of money I needed to go over there, and unfortunately I had to come back because of this. But I'm just gonna keep on grinding. Hopefully, I want to try to keep that tournament going, and hopefully someday I can just donate all that money for a different cause where I won't have to use it. So I want to keep it going, the PG3 golf tourney, and hopefully I can make it into a scholarship for Valley golfers down here. That's obviously the end goal, but got a long way to go, but it's a journey and it's been fun so far.
I'm looking online right now, and it's got to be a thrill because I'm going to like Golf Channel. Your name comes up. I'm going to the European Tour. Your name's on the list. You've got your name all over the place on here. I have to ask you this. So this is like one of my last questions. Celso is a UT alum. Did you get to beat his alma mater?
We didn't. I think.
That's right. Hey, don't be. Hey, you tell the truth.
No, we did, but we do have 16 national championships in golf at university.
Oh.
National championships.
Okay. Hey, Jake. If you're, let's look at the signs. UT is this, and U of H is, I believe, like this. They want to be like this.
Oh. With UT a lot. They're super nice guys. I know their coaches. I play with those guys a bunch, and it's golf community is very small, very friendly. So it's been good. It's been fun.
I tell you what, Jake. Hey, Jake, to play with Papito, you're gonna have fun. Papito it's a fun person to play golf with, and you should play with him one of these days.
Yeah, let's do it. We got to tee it up.
I haven't actually played since 1999 when I was working for Swing Magazine, and I I got to play at the U.S. Open in Pinehurst.
Oh.
But that was the Sunday before it started. Like, you know, with all the corporate people, I suck. Then that course proved to me that I suck because I was 3-putting every single hole if I got on, in a reasonable time. So
good. Yeah. You can pick it up at any age. I've known people that picked it up when they're 60 and they love it. You know, it doesn't matter. You can play a lifelong sport.
Hey, Jake, you want to play for some? Hey, Jake, you want to play for some money?
I need about 30 strokes per side. So, but no, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down and talk to me. I wanted to get both of you on because, you know, you guys played a role in each other's career, and I thought it'd be cool.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was fun.
And thank you for supporting. Hey, thank you for supporting junior golf and golf in general.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully we get more kids from the Valley to pick up the irons and start swinging away.
You bet.
Sure.
Well, you know what? Good things are going to happen. You know, with all these schools, good and middle school programs, it's gonna get better.
Yep, McAllen just got golf in middle school now. It was huge. I was very, very happy about that. You got to start at, the earlier you start, the better. So it's awesome.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate it. I hope you get to start playing sooner than later.
Me too, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.